In this section, we're going to continue with our slope-intercept form, and remember that slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Now, to write a linear equation in slope-intercept form, we always want to solve the equation for the variable y. We always want y by itself. So what we're going to do in our next 6 examples is practice rearranging our equations so that we get y by itself and y is in that slope-intercept form of y equals mx plus b. So if we look at number 1, we are trying to get y by itself. So we want to get rid of that 2 that is next to y. So right now it says 2 times y. The inverse of times is divide. So if I divide both sides by 2, 2 divided by 2 is 1, so I'm left with y. And on my other side, I have 3 divided by 2, so I'm going to write that as 3 over 2x. And now you can type that into your calculator, 3 divided by 2, but you're going to get a fraction. And when we put it back into a fraction, we get 3 over 2. And then we have 8 divided by 2. 8 divided by 2 gives us 4. So that is my slope-intercept form. Now I want to determine the slope and y-intercept of that equation. And I don't even need to graph it. I can just look at my equation in slope-intercept form and see that my slope is 3 over 2 and my y-intercept is 0, 4. Remember that y-intercept is always 0, b. Okay, so that is our first answer for number 1. Let's look at number 2. Number 2 is close, y is almost by itself, but it's got that negative sign out front. So right now it says negative 1 times y. So if I want to get rid of that negative 1, I'm going to divide by negative 1 on both sides. So I'm left with y over here, which is what I wanted. Negative 4 divided by 1 is 4. Now I can't forget that x. And then 6 divided by negative 1 is a negative 6. So that is my equation for number 2. Now I can easily see what my slope and my y-intercept are. My slope is 4. My y-intercept is 0, negative 6. Okay, number 3. Number 3. Now I have some more work to do to get y by itself. So I have this x term over here. If I'm trying to get y by itself, I'm going to start with what's furthest away from that y. So to get rid of my 3x, I'm going to subtract that whole thing from both sides. So I can get rid of that 3x here. I'm left with minus 2y equals, now I'm going to put minus 3x first because I want it to be in that slope-intercept form. I want my x term to come first, and then I have a positive 4. Now I just need to get rid of that negative 2. So if I have negative 2 times y, I need to use the inverse, which is divide. And I get negative 2 divided by negative 2 is 1, so I'm left with y. Negative 3 divided by negative 2 gives me 3 over 2. And 4 divided by negative 2 is minus 2. So that is my equation. And then I'm going to write my slope and my y-intercept off to the side. So my slope is 3 over 2. It's what comes right before that x. And then my y-intercept I have 0, comma, and I've got a negative 2. Okay, number 4. Again, we've got some more work to do on this one because we need to move our x term over to the other side. So to move that negative 9x, I'm going to add 9x to both sides. So here, those go to 0. I get 3y equals, and I'm going to put my x term first so that it's ready in my mx plus b form. Got 9x minus 12. Then I'm going to get rid of this 3. So it's 3 times y, so I need to divide by 3 on both sides. That gives me y equals, now we've got 9 divided by 3, which is 3, and negative 12 divided by 3, which is negative 4. My slope in this case is 3. I've got 3x, so my m is 3, and my y-intercept, we've got 0, comma, negative 4. My b is negative 4. Okay, we've got 2 more examples. This one, I'm just trying to get rid of that 4. So if we have 4 times y, I'm going to divide by 4. Y equals 6 divided by 4. Plug that into your calculator and turn it back into a fraction. You get 3/2. Now, for our slope, we have 3/2. But for our y-intercept, there is no b value. So that means our b value is 0. So our y-intercept is going to be 0, 0. Okay, last one. If we have negative 5 times y, I'm going to divide by negative 5. We get y equals negative 15 divided by negative 5 gives me 3. So that's my equation. Now my slope, there is no mx term. There is no x in my equation. So that means my m is 0. That x term went away. My y-intercept, my b is 3. So my y-intercept is 0, comma